everybody, it's Marcus here with Meguiars at Meguiars booth, MTE. We're in Florida. We've got the new products that we've just kind of revealed to the market. Some of these are going to be hitting the distribution in the next week or two. One of the most exciting ones is we partnered with Scangrip. We went to them and said, hey, we love your products. We'd like to kind of put a unique spin and come up with some unique features. And they're really awesome to work with. We developed this, it's called the Sunlight 3 Plus. Obviously, it's manufactured by Scangrip, co-designed by both of us. What's unique about this tool is that we actually have two different functions, and when we turn this light on, we see on the back here, you actually get an LED readout of the brightness. You can click and hold the brightness and scan in a linear fashion all the way through, and then you can do the same thing for the color and scan it to warm, and it'll tell you you're at your limit. I click and hold it again, and it goes back towards cold. So the other cool thing is I power it off with one click, right back on, it comes at the same settings.
Impressive.
So if you find, hey, this is a sweet spot on this car, you don't have to go through all your settings every time. So that guy will be coming probably in about 2 to 3 months and be about $179.
Now, could you tell us the importance of the different color temperatures as far as paint color? Because I'm sure, as most of my subscribers know, but different color temperatures could highlight different defects, especially on certain color paint.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think back to when I started detailing, I had either halogens, 500 watt big things cooking your panel. It's one color temperature, right? And then I also would have like a Brinkmann Xenon, the dual Xenon that a lot of guys use, right? Very cool temperature. But sometimes both of those would not show something that I put out in the sun and be like, oh man, I wasn't seeing this. So you're gonna notice that different type of defect, different color paint, you're gonna use different brightness and different color. If you take a silver car and you're trying to find a light, let's say swirl, and you blow it out with a super bright light, you're gonna say, oh, this paint's perfect, nothing to see here. And all of a sudden you turn off your bright lights and suddenly you're seeing these light defects. So the ability to fine tune with this light, that was really so that you can find both deep swirls, light, maybe a high spot for coatings, things like that. And the difference between a gloss black paint and a metallic silver paint, night and day.
Two different animals.
Yep, two different animals. So this will be a very unique tool because it will give you the ultimate control for every car. So you can dial in exactly what you need there. All right, so next up, a very unique product called Surface Prep, part number M122. For us, this is, we've never had a product quite like this. And for the industry, it's also gonna be a little bit different than some of the things out there. You'll kind of find two different types of products typically used before someone applies a coating. You've got one that is maybe a very aggressive solvent cocktail. It's almost like a wax and grease remover. And then you have the other spectrum that is water-based and not quite as aggressive, or maybe an isopropyl. All of these have pros and cons. What we've done with this is we've gone water-based, but it has a mix of different cleaners that are still super effective, but gentle. And the point of that is, if you're, let's say, using a rotary on a bumper, or even a long throw DA, and maybe heat that up a little bit, certain IPA dilution ratios or some panel prep type products, if you spray that on there, you can stain or swell that paint and either temporarily or permanently damage it. With this, it's safe to use on those warmer panels. It's even safe to leave it up there for a couple of minutes and really deep clean. So that makes it a little bit different. The other thing is we put a lubrication package in there so that while you're doing your compounding, your polishing, let's say on a sensitive paint, and you want to wipe that off without scratching, you can use this as a lubricant to get that off. And it naturally wants to clean and leave a dry, true finish. So instead of waiting till the end of the job to potentially check and see if you got all the defects out, you can check as you go. Kind of kill two birds with one stone. The MSRP at $40 a gallon is really cost effective too, so you don't have to be afraid to use this through your whole process.
So in theory, this is basically a paint correction detail spray.
Yeah.
That really does. So a lot of guys will use detail spray, but they have polymers, some gloss enhancers, and when you're prepping a car for a coating, you don't want to apply that stuff. So you could use this with confidence, basically.
And we didn't add any fragrance into this. We wanted this to just clean. It's down to business, right? So kept it as simple and effective as a pure cleaner. And again, I think when people try this is a sleeper product. They're going to fall in love with this stuff. It's just so easy to use.
I am excited about the ceramic sealant. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so obviously we shook the world up a little bit when we launched the retail product, that hybrid ceramic wax, the blue bottle that everyone's seen on YouTube. That came out a year ago. People were asking, how do I get it in a gallon? How do I get it in a gallon? Well, instead of just putting that same product in a gallon, we actually re-engineered using the same SiO2 base, but made something that is a pure sealant. So there's actually some wax in the hybrid ceramic wax. There is not in this. Additionally, this is applied like a normal liquid wax. So instead of spraying it onto a wet car and rinsing it off, you're going to put this either on a DA or by hand, spread it out. Now, there's a couple things about it though that are really unique. One, it has a self-leveling technology, which is very new, something that we've never had with a product like this before. You'll notice after you've applied this to the product, to the car, it almost disappears. If you do a whole black car and you come back to start wiping off, you might even be like, oh shoot, did I not wax this area? It will level off and it will actually increase in gloss and get more clear as it cures. So it's a really fascinating product. Won't stain any trim, so you can go right over, edges, no big deal, wipes right off.
Excellent.
But we actually recommend using this on PPF.
Wow.
Phenomenal bonding to PPF. It makes it much, much slicker, and it will perform similarly to a ceramic coating.
Wow.
So the self-cleaning and all those benefits, you get without screwing up your warranty on some of those PPFs.
Excellent.
So we recommend that, up to 6 months of protection. Very, very high contact angle on this product. Both this and the M799, which is the Bead booster, both of these also don't attract dust or pollen. So that will help keep the car cleaner. They also both will have a ceramic coating level of hydrophobics. So if you were to top your coating with this, which is what it's intended to do, you're not going to see it drop backwards in terms of the contact angle and the self-cleaning. In fact, it's going to boost it up, especially if it's more than a month old. So you can use this at full strength, and it is a sealant. And you could put that either on clean prepped paint or put it on top of an existing coating, and you'll get about 3 months of protection out of that.
As a standalone, 3 months.
As a standalone, yeah.
And what's the projected longevity for that
Standalone
one?
of 6 months on the M27.
And then you could maintain it with this.
Exactly.
Or,
very compatible.
Or if you use a ceramic coating, you could give this to your customer as a maintenance type of product.
Yes, you could. The other thing that's unique about this is that this is actually dilutable. So you can dilute this one part water, 3 parts product. So 1 to 3. It sounds backwards, but just a little bit of dilution. That'll actually be your slickest feel. So we use that as a detailer, a boosted detailer. Cool. Use it as a drying aid. And you can even, if you're doing a light clay on like a maintenance type job, you could use this as your clay lube, as long as you're not using a combo that's going to give you Mari. For just a quick, express clay decon on a car. So really versatile, very unique in that regard, and also very good on PPF as well. So both of these are very good on both paint and PPF. Now that kind of takes you to why that exists, which is we've launched M788. This is the ceramic paint coating. This is a professional product, but you won't have to be certified to get it. But this will only be available through professional channels, professional distribution. You're not going to find this at a retail type store. The kit will come with a 50 milliliter of the actual coating, which is enough to do, honestly, probably 2 to 3 cars. We recommend 2 coats per car, and it also comes with a 6-ounce spray bottle of the M122. So
cool.
You'll have enough to try it out, but it's also enough to do 1 wipe down on the whole car before the coating. If you're going to be doing it as you're doing your correction, you would need more. You'd want to buy it by the gallon, but you can try it that way. It'll also come with a pair of the branded gloves, so when you're applying the coating, you don't get any oils on the surface. And then it will also come with this new applicator. This is really, really unique. We've kind of developed that in-house. It's 3 layers, so it kind of contours. This is not a microfiber. It's actually a unique material.
I felt that. It kind of feels like a micro suede.
Yeah, it does. It's not a suede, but it
feels
that's
like
the closest thing you describe it as. But the point of this was to really reduce the chance of marring or scratching on a very sensitive paint. Some of them are just so ridiculous. A microfiber towel will scratch. So we did a lot of testing to come up with this. and it's just a very efficient. It's very good to spread an even layer of product. So that comes in the kit. So basically, if you want to try out a ceramic coating for the first time, you can. Now, as far as the coating itself, what's kind of unique about this product, this is a mock-up too, we'll have better looking packaging for the final, but this does not have a maximum time on your window for application. So you have minimums, which will tell you in the SOP based on your weather conditions, but it leaves a layer of product over itself until you wipe it off to keep it from fully curing. So that way, if let's say you're in a non-optimal lighting situation and you maybe miss a couple spots, pull it out to check it in the light or something like that. Oh shoot, I missed a spot, wipes right off.
Wow.
So you don't get the high spot issues. The other thing too is...
So that could be beneficial for mobile guys
yes.
that always have stressful, lightful
exactly.
conditions and lighting
and actually, the other thing about for mobile guys is that this is not going to have issues with the sun or the heat on the panels. We've even done crazy stuff like apply this on a black car in direct sun and still you have just the same wipe off. So that sacrificial barrier really affects that wipe off, makes it a lot easier. So this is a 1 year coating. You have enough product if you use it on one car, you could keep a car coated for 2 or 3 years doing booster coats. And especially if you're maintaining it with the Bead booster, no problem. The realistic trade-off to that awesome application benefit is it's a little more susceptible to solvents. So we just recommend keeping a solvent-based cleaner off the paint. Stick to the recommended cleaners and you'll be good.
Awesome.
So
awesome. And when is all of this going to launch?
So the coating, we're looking like March. It'll be available to the distribution in March. This by the end of February. This will be early February. This will be early February, and then the light, I don't have a firm date yet, but probably 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, that light seems awesome. Do you mind if we play with it on the car to show them how well it works?
Yeah, sure. Awesome. We have a rental car here that we've just been kind of monkeying around on. We haven't done all the correction on it yet, but what we can show you though is the difference in, I mean this thing's bad, but I can scan and go down on the brightness.
You see the difference, guys?
And then you can see different things. And then the other thing, color temperature, generally on blacks, depending what you're trying to look for, see like the fine stuff, the nice and cool is going to be really nice. But if you're looking for like a coating high spot, a lot of times you want to go warm, and the warm end of the spectrum might help you find those high spots.
There's sometimes when you pull it outside and you're shocked because it's cool, but when you pull it outside, you'll see a spot that you don't see in the shop.
Yep.
That's why it's important to always check it out. So having that light with the different temperatures, you're not going to have that surprise.
And you'll just see all different kinds of things depending on what you're going on. So, and there will be LED indicators, like I said, on the back that will show you as you go through your settings. So you can find and then say, oh, okay, when I'm working on this kind of silver paint or whatever, I want to be at X number of kelvins and X number of lumens, and just remember that, write it down, whatever. And it just makes it efficient for you to repeat your process down the road.
Well, I appreciate you taking out your time and explaining all the products. Me and my subscribers are definitely excited about the products, and we can't wait to test them on our channel. So thank you for your time, Marcus.
You bet.
I appreciate it.
Bye.